have done it. Live from New York. The show that considers himself a bit of an inventor. If I was born thousands of years ago, I would. I'd be great.
This guy's out here dropping hot Isaac Newton takes before the show.
It's just dissing legend.
He's overrated. I could have done that. Isaac Newton's overrated. His snacks probably underrated. That's first things first. Today.
That was Fig Newton, not Isaac.
Different guy. Yeah. Today, why one very important person on the Chiefs is not interested in talking about a three-peat. Does Andy Reid belong on the board? Meanwhile, Josh Allen, overrated according to one anonymous executive and one host of this show. And finally, Aaron Rodgers questions Saleh. Why this fallout could get worse. Also, classic
One. Classic one.
Instantly
correct. First opportunity had to be correct. It was correct.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Okay.
I read the whole story.
Yes.
They patched it up.
Bro.
No.
Bro,
that
let's just save it for the show. I mean, this is the show, but when we're doing it in the show. Just save it for that.
Okay. We start with the champs. We're 50 days away from Chiefs-Ravens to open the season. Mahomes and Kansas City gearing up for the three-peat. The active GOAT and Oakley sunglasses enthusiast reflected on last year's path to the Lombardi, which did feature a few bumps and dropped passes by Kadarius Toney. Take a listen.
Obviously, the end result was awesome, but I mean, I think a lot of us still have a weird feeling in our mouth because I mean, we really didn't play the football the way we wanted to play all year long, and it wasn't fun. I mean, every single week having to try to just continue to get better and better, and results not paying off the way you wanted to. It wasn't a lot of fun. We have a lot of those same guys back, and they know how that felt, and so we're going to try to prepare ourselves better this year so that we can play better throughout the season, and obviously try to end with the same result.
Pretty transparent there. Regular season ranks for Mahomes, career worst in 4 of these 5 categories. Also, won another Super Bowl. So, the Chiefs need to be better than last year in order to three-peat.
Even though I suggested this question, I want to be clear, this is a ridiculous question. This is if the Chiefs are the exact same as last year, it will be easier. Because if the Chiefs stay where they were, the path to the Super Bowl will be easier than it was last year for 3 very obvious reasons. The first one is their biggest competitors got substantially worse. The Bills took major steps back in personnel. The Ravens took major steps back in personnel and coaching staff. So those were the teams they played in the second round and the third round. They got worse. That's the first reason. The second reason is it is literally impossible for the Chiefs to have a harder path to a Super Bowl than the one they had last year. It was the hardest in NFL history, and I'll show it to you in quick 4 graphics in a row. The first one is, all right, what were the best teams in point differential? The only teams better than the Chiefs. Well, 4 of the 5 they beat en route to the Super Bowl. What about the best players in the league? Who finished better than Mahomes in MVP? Well, 5 of the 6 they beat en route to the Super Bowl. What about the actual history of point differential and how hard your path is? Teams who have where their opponents in the postseason run had a 600-plus point differential combined. It's just the 07 Giants, one of the most famous teams ever, which was really buttressed by that Patriots point differential by beating them, and the Chiefs. What about every single one of your opponents outscoring their regular season opposition by 100 or more points in the regular season? Only the Chiefs ever did that.
100.
So the Dolphins, the Bills, the Ravens, and the Niners all outscored their opponents by 100-plus that year. The Chiefs beat all of them en route to the Super Bowl. They all won 11-plus games. They were all excellent teams. And then there is this last part of it, which I'm going to show you a graphic about the defense, but it's really about the bad stat on it, which is why I'm so confident for the Chiefs this coming year. Brew, which is this. Yes, they had an amazing defense, but takeaways, they were awful. There were 14 teams in the league last year, Brew, that were negative in the plus-minus. The Chiefs and 13 teams that won a combined 0 playoff games. The Chiefs had were 27th in the league in plus minus and 27th in takeaways, and they won the Super Bowl. So no,
was that not to put to a pop quiz? Was that like falling on fumbles, or is that like grabbing interceptions?
What do you mean?
Like I thought takeaways were a lot of like just luck.
No, but I'm saying they were 27th, meaning they got some of the fewest. They were the 27th is bad.
Yeah.
They had some of the fewest turnovers in the forced turnovers in the league.
Yeah.
As far so the point being. The turnover luck is some of it, and will find its median. They are not going to lead the league in drop passes again, but even if they do, their path won't be as hard, and the conference is not as hard as it was last year. The conference is easier.
Look, after them winning the Super Bowl last year and looking so bad over the second half of the regular season, you can't say if they don't do this, they can't win it, because they showed us when the chips looked completely down, they could still win it. All right, that said, I completely disagree with Nick. Like, now your graphics were cute, but I disagree with you completely. All right, I don't look. Houston, I think is going to be better.
Yes,
C.J. Stroud should be better. They added Stephon Diggs. I don't think Baltimore's worse, because I know they lost some players, they lost some coaches, they lost some players.
Yeah.
But defensively, I think I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to be legit defensively, because they're always legit defensively. And guess what? They always run the ball well too. And now they've added the best runner of this generation. I also don't think, and the fact that they went in on Derrick Henry, they clearly, I'm not taking anything away from the Chiefs in the AFC title game, but Baltimore
They
had brain
trusted
freeze.
the MVP of the league to throw the ball.
Well, and he's not the best passer in the league. He's a great running dual threat quarterback. They're not going to lose their identity again, I don't believe. Right. And I'll give the Chiefs some credit, because they shut down the run earlier in the game, okay? But now with Derrick Henry, I think Baltimore can be at least as good, and I'm going to say better, because I think Lamar, a second season in this offense, they'll be better. And then here comes Cincinnati. Last year, Cincinnati was not really a factor because of Burrow's injury. Let's assume he's healthy. They'll be better. So those are three teams I believe that'll be better. That's not even to mention, I think Detroit's going to be better. Philadelphia, not going to be in that funk, I won't believe. San Francisco's there, and the Packers should be better. So I just think that the Chiefs will have to be better, and they probably will, because you look at the acquisitions of the receivers and stuff. But I think they're going to have to be better, because I think the competition is going to be better.
Okay, I want to go back to what he said, and it kind of jumped out, and we haven't touched on it yet. The word fun. He could have said anything. He could have said, it wasn't an efficient way to get to the Super Bowl. It wasn't an easy way to get to the Super Bowl. But he specifically talked about fun. And we had seen previous Chiefs teams kind of be a little weirder, maybe. Be a little more daring, a little bit.
Back. They had
a little more fun. So I think that he's going to really let loose this year, now that Xavier Worthy's there and Hyde Brown's there, and he's going to have more fun, and that's why the Chiefs will be even better. He's going to be old school Mahomes, tons of touchdowns.
Well, I'll tee Brew up on this. That it reminded me of Brew saying that even after they won the Super Bowl, you didn't enjoy watching that Chiefs team as much as years past. It was, and I'm not being a smartass here.
No, right.
When the idea that you can't hold anything against them because they won the damn championship, but when you have the most talented quarterback you've ever seen, having an offense that seems like it has, the air yards is, less than 10, and all of it, that it's not. And for on that note, Brew, I think Mahomes agrees. I think Mahomes prefers winning over everything, but winning that way versus how they won the previous year, even without Tyreek Hill, when they were the highest scoring offense in the league, and one is way more enjoyable than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Good take.
I'm gonna cook a little bit on this next one. I'm saving it.
Mahomes enters the year as the MVP favorite, followed by